And we have to defeat those who are the election deniers.
We should have made sure that we did something to determine who was going to win.
I think it's also critical to understand that, as I've been telling candidates who have come to see me, you can run the best campaign, you can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
What, in your view, would happen if he were to be reelected?
Oh, I can't even think that, because I think it would be the end of our country as we know it. And I don't say that lightly. You know, I hated losing, and I especially hated losing to him because I had seen so many warning signals during the campaign. But I immediately said, look, we have to give him a chance. We've got to support, you know, the president we have. And I meant it. And I tried really hard. And then literally from his inauguration on, it was nothing but, you know, accusing people of things, making up facts, denying the size of the crowd at his own inauguration. And everything that I worried about, I saw unfolding. And so I think that he'd be even worse now because he was somewhat restrained, believe it or not, in the first term by people who he hired because he thought they would go along with him, and they stood up to him. And so now he is going to, if he were ever near the Oval Office again, find people who have no principles, no conscience, who are totally tied, you know, to his fortunes, literally, and therefore would do whatever he said. And so the wreckage is almost unimaginable. You know, when I was Secretary of State, I used to talk about one and done. And what I meant by that is that people would get legitimately elected, and then they would try to do away with elections and do away with opposition and do away with a free press. And you could see it in countries where, well, Hitler was duly elected.
That's right.
Right? And so all of a sudden, somebody with those tendencies, those dictatorial, authoritarian tendencies, would be like, oh, okay, we're going to shut this down. We're going to throw these people in jail. And they didn't usually telegraph that. Trump is telling us what he intends to do.
We need to listen to
Take him at his word. The man means to throw people in jail who disagree with him, shut down legitimate press outlets, do what he can to literally undermine the rule of law and our country's values.
He will use the military to stop protesters.
When you go through the list of people that have been close to Hillary Clinton and the Clintons and the death pool, this is not a conspiracy. You got the names of James McDougal, okay, Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner, died of an apparent heart attack. You know, Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown.
Ron Brown, he died in a plane crash.
Vince Foster Vince Foster was the next one. By the way, the James Dougal was a key witness in a key Ken Starr investigation.
Ron Brown was in a plane crash. Why is he on the list?
Ron Brown is another one, but there was a close person to this. Victor Razor, you got Paul Tooley, Ed Woolley.
Wait a minute, you're reading a list of people that Bill and Hillary Clinton knew. They're 80, they're 70-something years old.
I'm asking you this question. I'm asking you this question and an answer at the end. So you got Jerry Parks, Jane Bunch, James Wilson, Kathy Ferguson, Bill Shelton, Candy Bow, Florence Martin, Susan Coleman, Paula Grober, Danny Casolero, Paula Wilker, John Parnell Walker, Barbara Weiss. We should verify this yourself because you're running a radio show. You should look it up.
I don't know any of these
names. Dr. Stanley Hurd, Barry Beal, Barry Seal, Johnny Longhorn,
Can you read me the URL you're reading? Can you read me the URL you're reading?
We'll send you the most credible source you can look it up.
Let your listeners know what you're reading.
We'll put the link below. We'll put the link below.
Just tell me so I know what I'm responding to.
Herschel Friday, Kevin Ivey, Dan Henry, Keith Coney. And these were part of the Ivy Henry case. Keith McCaskill.
What's the Ivy Henry case?
You can look it up. Ivy Henry case. So Gregory Collins, Jeff Rhodes, James Milland, Richard Winter, and then you got the close bodyguards, Major William Barkley, Captain Scott Reynolds, Brian Hanley, Tim Sable, General William Robertson.
You don't even know what you're reading a list of. How is this
Densberger, Robert Kelly, Colonel Gary Rhodes, Steve Wills, Robert Williams, Conway LeBlue, Todd McKeon. I'm done. It's 46 names. And
Of what?
When
Can you read me the list? Can you read me the URL so I know what you read a list of before I answer any questions about it?
When I finish this, stillinthestorm.com. You can look it up.
Stillinthestorm.com.
You can
this
look
is
it
your
up.
big moment, guys.
Yeah, so you can go. And by the way,
ads about chemtrails at the end of it.
He hasn't even asked the question.
by the
He's
way-
just reading the article.
He's reading a list of names.
So-
He hasn't even asked the
Asking me-
question. It's a list.
the fact that you're getting nervous is an answer.
It's not
okay?
nervous. This stuff
Let
makes me
wrap
sick
it.
when you repeat
Exactly,
these
makes us sick as
ridiculous-
well. It also makes us
obviously
sick.
doesn't. It
Of course,
obviously
because the
doesn't.
establishment makes us
You start
sick.
the question by reading a list of well-founded
Your reaction is an answer. I'll
conspiracy.
spend the next 2 hours with you one by one explaining
Fine.
each of these individuals are if you want to do
Fine.
that.
How about you pick one? Pick one and tell me who he was and what his story was.
Tom.
No, not you. You were asking me the question. Pick one name
I
and
will
then tell me.
pull up Vince Foster if you want.
No, Vince Foster, that suicide has been investigated 50 times.
I bet.